So, this is my presentation of learning, and I would like to start pointing out that one of the things that I've really learned with the course, or that actually were really meaningful to me in the course, is how it actually showed me that there are actually places, institutions, schools, and research which tries to show precisely the value of challenge and of play in education, because that's a topic that interests me a lot. And I'm sort of a gamer. I really like video games. I've played them since I was a child, and lately, although I'm a philosophy PhD student, that means I study not necessarily those subjects in my research, but I'm also really interested in how one in academical studies of games and how they connect with education, what games can teach us about education. And as a matter of fact, I was really interested in talking about one of the most important things that games teach us about education is that challenge is fun. And so if you're not having fun, it's not because an activity is too challenging and so you're not motivated to do that, but rather because this activity is either frustrating or it's boring. And I was really glad to see that somehow this idea was confirmed in a way or corroborated by some of the results we saw in the first week, some of the surveys that were made with the students in the United States, and how they would say, although the struggling students uh, have issues with what they are learning in school, they don't really think that that's because what they are learning is challenging, but rather on the contrary, they think that if they put enough work into it, they would manage to do it, but they are just not motivated enough to do that. So that gave me a ground to believe that this relationship between challenging, fun, and so education and games can really be meaningful for thinking about education today and thinking how education is supposed to be challenging, but that precisely because of that, it also means that it's supposed to be fun. Uh, what else? Right. That was a point that I also really connected with some of those sheets we saw about how homeworks are supposed to be, because there was always this talk about the of how homework should be playful, or how it should involve some kind of playful attitude, and how homework should be challenging. And so again, this connection between games and education came forth again. Uh, and so I saw again, in a way, corroborated that one not to learn from video games or from games or from game design how one can structure interesting, meaningful, challenging learning activities. On the other hand, another thing that really interested me, and that was something that was discussed more truly in the second week, was the way the school schedule is organized uh, in the Hatiha school, but also in general that we're supposed to think about uh, a routine day in school. And that was really meaningful to me because, and that's a very meaningful aspect from this course for me in general, because it showed to me how it's actually really possible to provide other structures of learning other than those provided by our usual schools, which are simply divided in classrooms where each one of the students gets always the same content provided in the same way, and no one's asking them how they are supposed to, how they want to be taught, what they want to be, what they want to learn, and because everyone thinks that no school could ever work like that, because there's no time, there's no way that something like that would work, because what the students think isn't really meaningful, they don't know what they want. And I think the example of this school and the different activities they propose to learn and to evaluate learning and to create a community in the school and to create a school culture really showed me that all those prejudices are just what they are, prejudice, and that there's no reason to believe that a student is someone who is incapable of knowing what is meaningful for him or what he should be able to learn. And that if we are in a school and if we are thinking about how do you say that in English? I seem to have forgotten. Uh, how do you teach a student to be a member of society, a member of a community? Then it's really setting a poor example when you establish that in this community in which he learns, in the school community, he's just supposed to listen and to do what he's told and not think how he would like this place to be and not have any part in deciding what takes place in the school, what takes place in learning, how the learning activities are structured, what he wants to learn, what is meaningful to him, in what way he wants to learn that, in what he wants to achieve with that. This has to be a part of a joint discussion between teachers, students, members of the school in general, I would say, and this is what allows learning to be really meaningful and school not to be merely a place where one is doctrinated and merely forced into a society, into the molds of a society in which he plays no significant role in shaping it. And so it provides a whole other model of thinking, not only how we learn, but rather another paradigm of how we interact in a community by discussing our own objectives and projects, our own means, our own, and the means we can have to achieve that, and trying to come together with other people to do that together and to help each other, even while at the same time holding our own objectives, but still trying to collaborate with each other so everyone can achieve their objectives. And I think that's a really good model in general. And other than that, I think it's really important how the activities we learned about in the last week, the activities by means of which the students are evaluated in the High School, uh, really, really showed how there's a way of structuring the learning activities, the evaluation, and the school itself in its very spatial organization, or in its very daily routine, and in everything that is included within the place that school is, that allows for considering each and every student as an individual, which we have to help to grow as an individual and to achieve his own objectives. And that this is possible by creating structures in which an open dialogue and an open contribution between everyone involved in the community is possible. So that's what I had to say here. So thank you very much for everything, and see you the next time.